Good evening. So I just wanted to go ahead and preface this. My name is Ashton Bachicha. I am a senior at Tarleton State University. I will graduate with a degree in psychology in December. I'm super looking forward to it, but yeah, here, let's get started. So for my project, I decided to study the correlation between grit scale and academic performance. As many may, think that academic performance is directly related to GPA, myself included, I learned a lot throughout this study, and I'll explain to you what exactly I mean. In order to obtain my research participants' information, in order to obtain that data, I used Google Survey. I tried to spread the word as much as possible to my social media accounts, my other discussion boards for other courses, any clubs and groups I'm in. I went ahead and asked any of those students to go ahead and participate if possible. And the responses that I did get were great. I was able to obtain 66 responses. I was super happy with that, but unfortunately, 4 of those didn't make the cut. They didn't meet my criteria, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to do all 66, but I was able to still do 62. If you're wondering what my criteria was, it was just that I wanted to make sure that I had everybody enrolled in courses. So I wanted to make sure every single person I was asking was currently enrolled in college and no graduated students or anything like that. For my methods, I used a variety of studies. First, I went ahead and studied all of my demographics. That's going to be age range, gender, race, and then I asked questions about their academics. So I wanted to know, are you currently in college? If you are, I want to know what your classification is. Unfortunately, if you were not in college, to my 4 responses, unfortunately, those did not meet my criteria, and so I wanted to go ahead and weed anybody like that out, just to ensure that I had the most accurate results. If you are currently enrolled in college, how many hours are you taking, and what is your GPA? The questions that I used after that are going to be from the Angela Duckworth's grit scale. Those questions are not necessarily questions, but more statements that you grade on a scale of somewhat like me, never like me, things like that. So that's going to be what that is on. For my results, I was able to see that I had the greatest population was between 18 and 21. That was going to be my biggest age range, which is unique because that is my age range. So I appreciated that a lot. Overwhelmingly, I had a large population of females. Go ahead and respond to this. And once again, I did have a large population of white. Currently in college, yes, undergraduate students was a large population. It looks like about 85% there, and then the majority of my college students were going to be seniors. Coming in second, we have graduate students, and third is going to be juniors. So that was pretty unique. That was cool. I liked that a lot. On this grit scale, so a lot of this is graded on a 1 to 5 scale, depending on how you answer the phrases. So for my 62 participants, this is how this was graded. On here, you see, I have some as low as graded as a 2, and it goes all the way to like a 4.7, which I think was pretty unique, which is just going to be kind of one of the higher numbers that we got. Here on this giant, very difficult to read table, you can see that we have how the GPA, hours taken, and hours spent studying per week directly relate or do not relate to their score on the grit scale. So here we have the grit scale labeled sum, and that's going to be all of these 1 to 5 scales put together and then averaged out the way that the Angela Duckworth scale goes, and then it's going to be from the highest to the lowest. You see the majority of our highest sum also have some of the highest GPAs. We really appreciate, we thought that was pretty cool. I was able to kind of see that. We do have GPA here in order. And then the study time is also some of the greatest. So, if they have a 4.0, it's super indicative of how much time they spent studying. Not always GPA is the only factor, but it is also how much time they spent studying and how many courses that they're taking. It's a lot more difficult to obtain a 4.0 when you're taking 18 plus hours versus 12 to 24. And so, I just wanted to make sure I covered all my bases here, and understood that GPA is not the only indicator of academic success. So initially, I did think that. I assumed that GPA would be the primary indicator, but it wasn't. GPA and grit skill were not directly related. However, academic success as a whole, if you look at it holistically, from GPA and hours taken in courses and hours spent per week in study time, all of those things really show that they are related. If you have grit, my study shows that you will perform better academically. Grit is something you can work on and practice, and there are several studies on how to do that, so I encourage you to look at those. Thank you so much. Here are my references. Like I've referenced several times, Angela Duckworth's Grit Scale is a fantastic tool to kind of check your self-motivation, and it'll definitely help you throughout your college career. Thank you so much.